Hey, what's up you guys, it's IAmTheLionRider, and in today's video I thought we would pick up where we last left off in my last video discussing all of the news that has happened within the Planet Zoo community within the last week. So if you've been following my channel, you may have noticed that I made a video about a week ago that was discussing this character, which is Lumi the Eurasian Lynx, and his kind of story about him missing his trumpet. So for some background info, we already got the end of the original Lumi story with the release of the Europack. Then mysteriously, towards maybe the beginning of January, we got this story picking up back on January 10th. And we were like, this is really bizarre. We just got the Europack. Why are we getting more news or whatever? Is this teasing something? And ultimately, yesterday we got our answer. No, it was not teasing anything. We were all just blissfully hopeful, I guess, because it was nothing. And so I didn't really cover each individual thing, but each day since that post we basically got some new paragraph, ultimately leading to yesterday, which was of course January 17th, where Lumi basically got his answer. So his trumpet was given to the salamander. That was it. He was just polishing it, and yep, that was the story. So anyways, so anyone who was really excited about it, unfortunately was a bit disappointed. But not all was lost. So obviously we did technically get something new today, and that is update 1.8.1. And it did come with quite a lot of bug fixes. I know a lot of people got hung up on this little thing. They included a copy-paste thing, so it does say some new content. There is no new content. It is literally just a lot of bug fixes. But I will say some of them very welcome bug fixes. Notably, I gotta say the plants that had like some broken branches, they got fixed. So the white sage and the diamond leaf willows, that's really useful. They added some tags and sound effects and stuff to some existing things. They actually fixed a bug that I was messing with recently, which was related to billboards, so the memorial plaque couldn't support video without crashing, so that's nice now. So there are a couple of little things, but obviously it's not the thing that I think a lot of people in the community were anticipating. They were definitely seemingly hyping up something a little bit more, and I guess you could argue that, again, technically the end of the story did mark an update, but ultimately it wasn't what people wanted, which was a new update, new animal, new content, that sort of thing. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that in greater detail because I asked you guys, my community, what your opinions on the whole situation were, because I know there were some people in the community that ultimately said, oh, well, I thought, it was obvious that we'd get nothing. But I did poll my community, and over 300 of you did reply, so that's always useful. And it kind of confirms my suspicions. Over 70% of you agreed to some extent, you agreed, actually, that it should have been something. It was very bizarre behavior, and it should have been something. And so 13% of you thought it was obvious, like, why? What else could it have been? 58% of you, I think I was in this boat too, that were hopeful because it did seem bizarre. And I think that was ultimately my opinion as well. It's like, it's really bizarre doing this behavior outside of the normal DLC cycle, when now with the anniversary update, we did have some evidence that, yeah, when you make these posts, it's a bit bizarre. And then 21% of you didn't really doubt, didn't believe it yourselves, but you did think that if others believed it, you wouldn't have been surprised. And then 7% of you were geniuses and knew that it'd be nothing. And I got a bunch of comments on my YouTube videos and this post and Discords and stuff, all with varying degrees of things. But the other thing I wanted to mention is an entire forum thread was created that is 12 pages long, addressing this with memes and everything, and some controversial opinions, and some that were a bit, like, really upset over the whole thing, some saying, what were you expecting? I chimed in with my little, thing. And this is kind of what I wanted to bring up, which is my take on the whole thing. And that's just, I understand both sides of what people are saying, that this was obviously nothing, and why others were hopeful. It's weird to string the community along for 2 weeks with daily posts with no indication it was just a story. It was really bizarre behavior that we never really saw on social media in the last 2 years, besides announcements, which is true. We've never seen this behavior outside of... a lot of people want to bring up the North America pack. They kind of reiterated the DLC travel story or whatever, the map. But I think that's a bit different. Like, advertising pictures of your literal DLC daily is a bit different than adding a story with some, like, teaser elements or, like, some mystery to it that seem to indicate some other things. And I just can't imagine anyone at Frontier didn't see the potential backlash from this. Because I agree with that. It's a bit insane, and I'll just finish my thing. Breaking the radio silence in favor of some fun stories and interaction is great, but I do think it would have been nice to mention it beforehand that, hey, listen, it's just a story, it doesn't mean anything. I stand by that, because Frontier has had every opportunity to shut this down, or shut down any, like, unwarranted hope ahead of time. And I feel like they should have taken that, because it was... Again, I just can't imagine they didn't see people would be disappointed by this whole thing. Like, you're setting this up for 2 weeks with a mystery, and everyone's tuning in every day. Obviously, the people that mostly care likely would have already, have paid for the Europe DLC, so they're wondering, what is this all about? And then you ultimately ignore it on the, this forum thread, which was started the day that was posted. Similarly, you have YouTube videos like mine that were going out and a ton of engagement from the community that way. I even mentioned it to Tim on the community live stream that they did, and he kind of just gave us a grin and went, I don't know, keep checking social media, which again seemed to, confirm everyone's like, oh, we should really be paying attention to this. And for it to just come out and be nothing is really disappointing. And so I think the next time that Frontier entertains the idea of this, because, listen, I love community engagement outside of the normal DLC things that aren't just talking about animal facts. That's great. But please mention beforehand to the community, if it is going to be nothing, that it's nothing. Because the community is so hopeful that whenever you're tweeting something outside of a normal time period, that it means something. And we've just been, again, before Planet Zoo, even if you go to JWE or Planet Coaster, the community has been trained to assume that your Twitter and your fun little posts teasing something mysterious are related to updates. That's just how it is. So if you are planning on changing that from now on, you need to explicitly state that. And I don't think that's totally unfair. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like I said, let me know. I mean, do you guys agree with that in the future, for better communication purposes, they should address that ahead of time to, tamper expectations? Or do you think that they were totally in the right and they can do what they want? Leave that below in the comments, and let me know if you guys enjoyed today's video. So I've been IAmTheLionRider. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.